We are GTR, Ghana Talks Radio. Ghana Talks Radio in a mix. In a mix.
The best music in the world. The best.
Best music.
My favorite station.
Ghana Talks Radio. We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR. GTR.
This is the in power debt, ECT threatened to cut supply. We are on the right path to victory against the bleak leadership despite attempt to militarize our wards. Barker-Vormawor states also the mass burial for Nigeria's Plateau victims as the death toll turns at 150. There's some more stories after the break.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR. GTR.
Welcome back to our first story. The Volta Regional Police Command has commenced investigations into the circumstances surrounding the death of 2 persons in Akatsi. According to the chairman of the Akatsi South Municipal Security Council, Martin Kofise Nyahe, the probe will ascertain whether security personnel fired live bullets and demonstrating youth or not. The youth besieged the Akatsi police station in an effort to retrieve a motorbike seized by the police on Saturday. An altercation between the police and the youth resulted in the death of 1 person. The deployment of police and military personnel to the troubled area, however, prevented the situation from escalating. According to the MCE for Akatsi South, Martin Anyahe, the 2nd person has also died. He indicated the calm has so far been restored to the town. The Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has called on Ghanaian youth to take volunteer service very seriously since it will enhance their opportunity in acquiring employment shortly. The Vice President was speaking at the launch of the National Youth Volunteer Program at the Prempeh Assembly Hall in Kumasi. The theme for the launch, mobilizing youthful hearts for volunteer service in national development. The program, according to the Vice President, will engage about 100,000 young and energetic people across the country over the next 5 years. He said the program will enhance the national cohesion and create opportunities for skills development.
We're very, very active in trying to make sure we prepare the youth for the future. This is why we have free senior high school education, we have free TVET education. We also have a major program in providing technical and vocational equipment and schools and so on to our educational facilities. Furthermore, government has rolled out a number of initiatives to equip graduates with the needed skills required for the job market in the future. And some of the initiatives include the ongoing stakeholder engagement for skills revitalization in several sectors of the economy. For example, the banking sector is engaging in skills development for thousands of youth over the next 3 years. In the tourism and arts and culture sector, the target is to train and certify 10,000 persons on specific tourism and hospitality skills by 2023. There's an ongoing construction and modernization of all national vocational training institutes and opportunity industrialization centers. So far, 17 technical and vocational institutes across the country are being upgraded and modernized, and we have a target of 52 in all to do. The Youth Start program, which is an initiative which will support young entrepreneurs to gain access to capital, training, technical skills, and mentoring to launch and operate their own business.
The news others choose.
Of the National Youth Authority, Honorable Pius Enam Hadzide, also stressed that the volunteer program has 13 modules to address specific challenges in our various communities. He called on corporate Ghana and development partners to throw their weight behind the National Youth Volunteer Program and support the implementation and expansion of the program.
of mobilizing youthful hearts for volunteer service in national development. We have embarked on this process because we believe that lodged deep in the heart of the Ghanaian youth is a desire to see this country prosper and a zest to partake in the action which will bring about that prosperity. These energies, if carefully managed and properly invested, will make the Ghanaian youth today attuned with that ethic of service and counter the decadence that has reared its head in our society. Under the banner of the NYVP, we shall organize the youth to apply their faculties, energies, and abilities to sectors where they are needed the most to drive national development one community at a time. We shall ensure that service takes its rightful place at the center of our activities as Ghanaians. Right from the homes to the national scene, the NYVP will see young people applying innovative solutions to the problems which hamper our development and project the Black Star of Africa in its right light. NYVP will provide an institutional framework to modernize volunteerism in Ghana and to streamline activities within the sector to ensure that resources, both material and human, are being maximized to address the specific challenges in our various communities.
The news are the truth.
With about 13 models.
The Asantehene Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II has given the seal of approval for Newmont Ghana's groundbreaking $850 Ahafo project. Otumfuo's blessings for the project, which he announced on Monday, 11th of April 2022, follow a series of engagement and briefing by the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, Newmont Ahafo, and the affected community chiefs. Addressing the delegation, Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II said he is convinced beyond doubt that the project will serve the interests of the communities. He cautioned the communities who are resisting the laudable project to consider the enormous benefit it will bring to their people. He also warned that the interests of a few people should not override the collective interest of the communities and the country, as well as hinted of possible sanctions for chiefs who stand in the way of the Newmont project. He said he has been informed of the company's plans to embark an impactful project in the communities and in the areas of roads, education, health, among others. Still local stories. The convener of the #FixTheCountry movement, Barker-Vormawor, has vowed to continue fighting for a better Ghana despite being prosecuted for treason felony. According to him, his recent arrest has left him even more determined to stand against the wrongs in the society. The activist, who was arrested for threatening the coup on social media, promised the #FixTheCountry followers of an impending victory.
I've emerged from jail twice, certain that we're on the right path. We must not lose sight of the fact that it attempts to militarize our words and our voices. And those who are committed to break our front through violence and character assassination will not.
GTR News. The news are the truth.
Focusing on business now, the Electricity Company of Ghana has issued a disconnection notice to Ghana's premier, a university, that is the University of Ghana, UG, over power debt to amounting 33 million cedis. The power distributor issued a 72-hour ultimatum for the university to settle the bill or face disconnection from the national grid. According to a report, the sources disclosed that the large big payment the university made, about 10.5 million cedis, in January 2021. The District Chief Executive for Jama North constituency in the Bono region, Honorable Solomon Owusu, has entreated Ghanaians to support the developmental agenda of the governing NPP by ensuring that electronic transaction levies are contributed to elevate hardship in the country. The Honorable stressed that the politicization of the electronic transaction levy has created a lot of tension, inciting others to see it as a means of the ruling government to extort monies from the citizens but disclaim such information. He concluded that a lot of people within the country avoided the payment of taxes as a result of their profession, making it difficult for the country to realize the expected revenue that has been generated internally. Therefore, the E-Levy will capture all workers within the country to pay tax, hence widening the tax net of the country.
nkofo de ade bi ato nipa adwen mu sɛ aban pɛ sɛ okuya na sika no bɛgye ya yɛ ho bra ne bɛde ɔbɔ ndi sɛ yɛ mbɛ no de ane yɛnkɔ busia ne ho nzunzane so yi na nahene bɛboa yɛ yɛso yɛ pɛ kwane yɛ pɛ school na aban bɛyɛ da yɛ na kwasɛm a ɛwɔ mu ne sɛ aburokyire nkuru a yɛkɔ hɔ a hɔ a yɛfɛ nyinaa ɛyɛ toɔ sɛ nka nyinaa yɛse yɛte yɛ ho ase ne yɛtua to a nka Ghana ma ne yɛnkɔbɔ busia baabia nso ayɛ sɛ binom bɛtua binom bɛndua ba wei deɛ wɔndi nka sɛ wobɛtua na sɛ wɔndua wansa wo transfer sika hea baate ndi obiara bɛtua bi amanyɔfoɔ bɛde bɛho baagye m ne bɛde ɔyɛ amanyɔsɛm efisɛ nipa he ɔpɛkɔ na aba aba nim ndi deɛ ɔka ɔho bɛyɛ amanfoɔ bufudu na ɔbɛka yɛm de sɛ nana mo bisa saa asɛm no ɛnyɛ toɔ kɛseɛ bi kɔtɔ bɛkum ma aban ɛde ɛte sika agu ne bɔtɔm yɛde te na yɛ ankasa yɛde ayɛ yɛ man yi ɛsɛ aban kɔbɔ bosia bere Ghana yɛ bosia ɛkyɛne ayi nyinaa yɛ nkɔbɔ bosia bi yɛ aso yɛ ndua sika na aban no ɛyɛ me ne wo ndi ho ne sika no bɛde bɛyɛ man he yɛ yɛ sika sɛ yɛ nyinaa yɛ te yɛ ho ase sɛ me yɛ adwuma na ma nya sika me kɔtua ta sanga ha yi
The news others choose.
The Honourable speaking on the 8-year conventional cycle for the selection of president and political party to lead the country, the DCE Honourable Solomon Owusu described it as a bad practice that forestalled development, stating that people must embrace the decision of the MPP by giving them the mandate to serve in the subsequent electionary terms to achieve its developmental project. He opened that a benefit of the progressive agenda of the Nana Addo and Bawumia government will be fully realized in the coming years, hence the need for Ghanaians to maintain the party to continue their developmental project for the betterment of the country.
Yeah, abano ye ne no eso mfaso a ebe badaache no eso me say the Ghana man yakɔ akyi ni say ya bibi say 8 years cycle abano we ba odimvie na na mve nwotwe ongo na foforo mra de mampanya akufo ado ne Bawumia be ye ne ye nya so mfaso ne na se ye pambe ne bekɔ a minim ɔhwe abano de beba na wa meto de be so because esi mampanya kufo pen so national ID card say kaya mampanya kufo pen so na ɔhye ase say nga enyo ID card ondima anya nwie ne Ghana fo ye pam no so ongo ɔkɔye na yewura atam no se bae ɔde to njane wamfa anya adwuma enne na na ado ne Bawumia ba na ba sana be hye ase se de ba ya be ya wie eso mfaso a ɛwɔ daache no eso na ye nyina nkan ho amom ne se wadi mvie nwotwe kɔma bi so mra a se da bia akoye ngrofo bi basa utu na ba akɔ anim a wasan de ba akɔ akyi wugina fa ko na man me be frɛ na Rwanda a African country bekura enya fa ahode po ejabe na no hwebe man he se de se developer na se wani ni nyina ne se ba ma ban ba akɔ ayɛden atena so akyɛ ni de obɛhya ase se wɔyɛ no otumi yɛ news kama ban no ntena so na yɛnhunu de ɔde bɛyɛ.
On international front, Ethiopia has allowed Boeing 737 MAX airplanes back to its airspace, the aviation regulator has said, 3 years after one of its national carrier jets crashed shortly after takeoff from Addis Ababa. All 149 passengers and 8 crew members aboard the Ethiopian Airlines flight from the Ethiopian capital to Nairobi in Kenya died. The Ethiopian Civil Aviation Authority said it lifted the ban after being satisfied with the improvement in the plane's design and the airline's pilot training program. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration cleared the planes to resume flight in November 2020, but ordered mandatory pilot training and modification of flight computer. We are in Nigeria, and mass burials have taken place in Nigeria's Plateau state for the dozens of victims of Sunday's deadly attacks in several villages. At least 150 people were killed in the latest wave of attacks by armed gangs. As the victims were being buried in mass graves, people were still searching for more bodies outside the villages where the attack took place. Most of the dead were young men and children. Many of them were shot dead as they tried to escape the attacks. The burials took place amid tears and shock in these rural communities. The raid on the last 4 villages in Kanam area in Plateau State was some of the worst in Nigeria for many months. At least 30 people have been killed during 2 days of attacks by gunmen in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Red Cross says. It happened in the interior province, which, along with the neighboring North Kivu, are under an official status set in effort by the government to stop the attacks by dozens of armed groups. The attacks are thought to have been carried out by the Allied Democratic Front ADF, one of the deadliest rebel groups operating in the region. They were brutal. Some of the victims have been found tied up. Others had also had their throats slit. Homes were being torched and properties looted. In December, more than 1,000 Ugandan soldiers crossed into DR Congo for what was meant to be a joint military operation to defeat the ADF. At least 25 people have died so far in landslides and floods in the Philippines after tropical storm Megi swept the nation. On Tuesday, rescue crews were still battling to retrieve people stranded on the eastern and southern coast. Maggie, known locally as Agaton, hit the archipelago on Sunday with winds up to 65 kilometers, that is 40 miles per hour. It was the first such storm of the year. The Philippines typically see an average of 20 each year. More than 13,000 people fled to higher ground shelter as the storm lashes the east coast. Heavy rains and winds also knock out power supply, flooded homes and fields, and caused the mudslides in the village. To some entertainment stories, the sequel of Johnny Depp and ex-wife Amber Heard's bitter legal battle is coming to Virginia. After losing the first round, the legal trial set to the UK. Depp, 58, is suing Heard, 35, for $50 million, that is 38 million euros, over an op-ed she wrote in the Washington Post in which she claims to be a victim of domestic abuse. Heard is suing back with $100 million counterclaim against Depp. The defamation trial is expected to feature painful accusations of domestic abuse. It will be broadcast live and involve a number of high-profile witnesses, including James Franco, Paul Bettany, and Elon Musk. Before opening arguments begin on Tuesday, there is a look of how it's going to happen next. Thank you so much for joining me for the afternoon news on Ghana Talks Radio. You can log on to our website, www.ghanatalksradio.com, for more news updates. My name is Sandra Asante. Stay tuned for the sport tidbit. Have a great afternoon.
Get it big, get it here. Listen to all your live mixes, live radio programs, and live entertaining and news package programs right here from GTR, Ghana Talks Radio.